evaluate the integral by making the given substitution. So here we have the integral of secant squared of 1 over x divided by x squared dx, where we're given the fact that the substitution u is equal to 1 over x. So let's go ahead and write that. So we have u, we're going to let u equal 1 over x. Okay, so what we want to be able to do is take the derivative of 1 over x and derivative of both sides. So in order to do that, let's rewrite this so that it has a base of x and it's going to have a negative exponent. So this is the same thing as saying u, which is equal to x to the negative 1 power. Okay, now we're going to take the derivative. So we're going to take the derivative of both sides. So the derivative of the left side is du. The derivative of the right side is going to be negative x to the negative 2 dx. Okay, and so now what we want to do is rewrite this so this becomes a positive exponent. So this becomes du, which is equal to negative 1 over x squared dx. Okay, now if you take a look over here, we have a 1 in the numerator and a x squared in the denominator, and it's positive. There's no negative here. So we want to look at this 1 over x squared dx, and that's what is here, but we need to then divide both sides by the negative, or multiply both sides by the negative. So we end up getting negative du is now going to equal 1 over x squared dx. Okay, now let's just rewrite the original problem. So we have the integral of secant squared 1 over x divided by x squared dx. Now let's just rewrite this before we do the substitutions. So what we have is the following. We have secant squared 1 over x, and that's the same thing as times 1 over x squared dx. And therefore now you can see what the substitutions are going to look like. So we're going to have the following. We have the integral of secant squared. Now we know that 1 over x is equal to u in the given substitution. So that's secant squared u times, well, what does 1/2 x squared dx equal? That equals negative du. So that's negative du. Okay, and so now what we want to do is now factor out that negative. So we have a negative and then the integral secant squared u du. Okay, and so now what do we know about the antiderivative of secant squared u? Well, going back to your derivatives of your trig functions, the derivative of secant squared u is equal to tangent u. So this is negative tangent u, and that's plus c. Now the one thing left to do now is that the original substitution was u, which is equal to 1 over x. So therefore this is going to equal negative tangent 1 over x plus c, and there is your result.